Hi everybody. It's Movie the Podcast, and we are Gogsless this week. So you're stuck with the real buddies, Sean, Alec, and myself. And this week we suffered through, you know how Sean oftentimes says with like a lot of the Marvel movies that we like, the ones that we like, that we have recency bias where we're like, well, that's the best one because that's the one I've seen most recently.
Yeah.
I think with DC movies, it's like the opposite because I was like about to say this is the worst DC movie, but like I really have to stop and think about it for a while. But like this movie,
I don't think it's even close to the worst.
I don't think so either. No,
I don't know, man. It's tough. It was tough.
I mean, not to spoil anything, but I didn't absolutely hate this movie.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I did. It took me 3 times. I watched this in 3 separate sittings and I hated it.
Well, I think I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I also hated it, but it's not at the level of like Justice League or.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what? I would
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
I would say that this movie, as much as I find the plot absolutely horrendous, at least it's better constructed than Justice League or Suicide Squad.
Well, you can tell one person made it at least. Like, there's that.
Kinda. There's still like, you can see that there's like notes from other scripts in this movie. Yeah.
We'll get into it, but I think that there's 2 main problems with this movie, right? One is that it has the most unlikable lead in the history of cinema. And the other one is, and the other one is it's just a fucking product. Like, you know how we talk about that all the time? This is like a product. Like, it's just anyway, we'll get into it. I'm sorry.
We'll get into it. No, you're fine. I think it's going to be a shorter episode anyway. But anyway, yeah, we watched The Flash and we're going to talk about it. Did I miss last week? Or was it the week before?
We didn't. Or you missed 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. What did we do?
No, last week was the clone or the Attack of the Clones.
Oh, Attack of the Clones. Oh God. Yeah. Alec, did you rewatch Attack of the Clones?
Oh, I watched it.
What did you think? Well, let's start off by what did we watch this week? Alec, go ahead, buddy.
You didn't do it right. There you go.
I watched 2 things, I think, or 3 things.
Including Attack of the Clones?
Not including Attack of the Clones. So, 4 things. I'll go to Attack of the Clones last.
Okay, fair enough.
Couple of movies, some fairly new releases. Watched Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
How was that?
That's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not as good as Bumblebee, but it's better than all the other Transformers movies before it. And it's got the same problem as most of those movies. Like, you don't need people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
like, they're Transformers. Like, they're fucking Transformers. And the people in this one are honestly better than the people in any of the other ones. Like, they're more engaging and more personable, I feel like. Not like Shia LaBeouf in the first 3. It's just like a walking cartoon character just screaming his lines.
Yeah. I'll never understand the need, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, we just can't have a movie with like all talking robots, but like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Alex, you can have people like reacting to them. You don't need to have like full on characters side by side with them the whole time, though.
Right.
Yeah. Like those people would just be mush like all the time. It's like that.
I don't know.
That Perry Bible Fellowship cartoon.
Oh, I love those.
Where the trucks, the guys are, the Transformers are like walking down the street and they see a guy getting stabbed, so he turns into car form so he can go by without having to be bothered to help him. And then he turns back into Optimus Prime again after he gets by him.
I don't know dick about like the Beast Wars continuity. Does it matter?
No. They're just in it for like spectacle because they look awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's 4, like the Beast Wars, TJ, you know better than I would, and apparently better than Sean. That was just that CGI cartoon, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching the shit out of it. But like,
yeah, I used to
not
watch
understanding any of the plot. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I don't think if again, I'm not an expert either in Beast Wars, but I don't think it was in like continuity with the original Transformers. It was like a replacement, like a reimagining of the Transformers. Like, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, because
Transformers are just like an excuse to make toys. So like, hey, we got like a cheetah robot that turns into a robot. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a good idea to make some more toys.
Yeah, it was like Optimus Primal. He's a gorilla.
Yeah.
Oh, back up 1 second. So it's not all Beast Wars? They're just like slightly in it? Like I thought it was a whole Beast Wars movie.
No.
The regular Transformers are in it as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
God damn Major League Baseball. God damn them to hell.
What now?
Well, I'm looking on my phone and it says Orioles Blue Jays is a free game of the day for MLB
Yeah, not
TV.
for us.
So like, cool. Let me hit it.
Yeah.
And it still blacks it out. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, baseball. Every time I get like excited about baseball, I want to get back into it. They fucking do something stupid like that.
Yeah, well, hopefully
blackout rules.
Hopefully Matson goes out of business because they're hemorrhaging money, and once that happens, then you won't have blackout rules anymore.
Great.
Fucking.
Or just get an app. I'll subscribe to your app for 6 months to watch.
Just get rid of the fucking blackout rules altogether. That shit's so antiquated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to subscribe to like 8 different tiers of cable just to watch baseball and nothing else. You know?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. But anyways, back to Beast Wars. So this movie, it has 4 or 5 beast Transformers in it. It's got a gorilla, a cheetah, I want to say a lizard, and then like Michelle Yao is a bird raptor, a raptor bird, like an eagle. Her name's like Razorhawk or something.
She's a rapper.
Who plays the hot lady Transformer that was from the Transformers movie? I forget her name. She's like a pink car.
Yeah, she's RC.
Yeah, is that her name?
Yeah.
She's in the movie, right? I think I saw her in the trailer.
She is in the movie. The regular Transformers are Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, her RC. I get so many of them confused. Roadblock, maybe? And then there's like
G.I. Joe man, I think.
Oh. There's one that's like a World War II plane that they use as a transport to get them from New York to Peru.
Nice.
Transformers Rise of the Beast. That's what it's called. Rise of the Beast. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it as much as Bumblebee. Bumblebee is definitely better, but it's still not bad. It's not terrible. It's too long.
To watch. Yeah. I really like Bumblebee.
And at least like in the fights, they pan back from the fight, like with Bumblebee, it's not all up in your fucking face.
Yeah.
You'll hate it, TJ, because Pete Davidson plays one of the.
Oh,
he's one of the Transformers.
Yeah, I do hate
Mirage.
him. I
think he's funny. Like,
really? Yeah.
I think he's funny. I'm like probably like 70-30 on him. I like him most of the time, but I can understand why people would not like him too, because sometimes he can be just way too much.
He has my favorite wrestling term. He has go home heat for me. Yeah, well, yeah. But I did like Bodies, and he's got a pretty prominent role in that. So I don't know. I liked him in set aside my hatred.
The King of Staten Island. I thought that was really good. I liked him in that. I thought he was really good at that.
I need to watch it.
So Transformers: Rise of the Beast, not bad. Watch the Apple TV movie Ghosted, starring Chris Evans and Ana de Armas.
Oh, I heard that was terrible.
I didn't think it was too bad. That's not great.
I didn't watch it, but people online were losing their mind, and I was like, "This doesn't look like that offensive of a movie." I don't understand why.
You know why? Because Ana de Armas is the hero, and Chris Evans is the damsel in distress.
Say no more.
Oh, yep. Feminism is when women do stuff.
Yeah, they flipped the script. I thought it was really good. I thought both of them were really good in it. And I thought it was a lot of fun. Seeing him, like literally just, it's like she's Captain America and he's the one being saved the whole time, basically.
I mean, that kind of sounds fun. Like, I like the subversion of the trope.
Yeah, and it starts off with her, they, like, meet, I forget exactly how they meet, but she's, like, a super spy, and he's a, like, gardener. He works, like, in his family's, like, garden plot or something. And they meet at, like, a farmer's market, and they go out on a date and have a great time, and then he goes, like, crazy, like, blowing her up because she doesn't respond to him for, like, 2 texts. So he just keeps sending text after text, and she finally ghosts him. And he thinks that it's, like, a message, like, to come find me or whatever. So he, like, travels to Europe because he has a location.
Yeah, because
they had, like,
I mean, Ana de Armas is super hot. I don't know if I'd go to, I guess I probably would go to Europe for Ana de Armas.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. The fighting scenes are pretty good. The action scenes are good. Adrian Brody plays the villain.
He's solid.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was good. But
One of these days, we're going to end up watching that fucking Chris Pine / Tom Hardy / Reese Witherspoon spy rom-com. And
what the hell is that called? Yeah.
Not My Spy. That's the Dave Bautista movie where he befriends a child.
What the hell is? Yeah, I can't think of it either.
It is fucking abject dog shit.
Anything else, Alec?
Yeah, we watched
two more things.
We watched a movie called Boltneck, which has like 3 different titles. It's Boltneck. Like, I Was a Teenage Monster. I forget what the third one is. It is like...
So it's like a Frankenstein.
Yes. It stars Ryan Reynolds. It is from like 2000. It is a Canadian movie, like before he made it in Hollywood, where he's like a nerd at school and he accidentally gets killed. And Matthew Lawrence, who is the main character in this movie, transplants his brain with a serial killer's brain. So the serial killer takes over his body. And at first he's like, it is weird. But, you know, it's fun and stupid in a way where it leans into it hard. It's not like taking itself too seriously.
Right.
I kind of enjoyed it. And it was only like an hour and a half, and it was on Tubi.
Perfect.
Matthew Lawrence is the one that basically said that Bryan Singer tried to fuck him recently, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the one. He was also in Money Plane, if memory serves.
Hell yeah.
All of them were in Money Plane.
All of them are in Money Plane.
All the Lawrence bros. Well, he was, Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, have you guys seen the Ryan Reynolds movie? I think it's called The Voices, where he his dog, all the animals talk to him, but he's like a fucking like an actual psychopath.
I have not, but that popped up like after we finished.
It's not bad.
After we finished this, that popped up. It was like, watch this soon. But that's like not even that old, is it? That's like
I think that's like era. I think that's like 2010s. 2012, maybe.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it, like, the screen cap of it a billion times while searching through stuff.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never seen it, but people really enjoy that movie.
And the other thing I watched was Star Trek Attack of the Clones.
Ew.
Oh, God. What'd you think?
That movie is something else.
It's so bad.
Like, I'm pretty sure I saw that in the theater with my aunt because she really wanted to go see it when I was visiting Massachusetts. And, like, I remember it being incomprehensible then.
Yeah.
And this was, like, a year after I watched, like, the first one, The Phantom Menace. Now, like, the whole movie may as well have been in Chinese with no subtitles.
Yeah, It's insane.
I could not understand what they were talking about. I couldn't make any sense. I listened to you guys talk about it. I listened to the show the other day, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much right. Nothing they do makes any sense. They're all talking like from Duel, but it's not intentional.
Not intentional.
How he wants them to talk and emote, which makes dick for sense.
I know Alec and I have made this reference before, but it's like the fucking Harold Lloyd movie in Futurama where it's like, just because it's a sad scene doesn't mean you can't throw some pies in the background.
Right. Speaking of which, the new Futurama started, and the first episode's pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
What's it on?
On Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just the thought of like three grown men and now you chiming in, spending this much time in our life arguing about the fucking plot contrivance of Master Sifo Dyas is fucking astounding.
Oh, the fact that you found an article that said that Cypher Dyas, it was like a typo that like Lucas just thought sounded funny and left it in. It's like, what?
Yeah. But George, that doesn't make any sense. You know, I don't know. I like it. I just like it.
I mean, like, I always thought the movie was confusing, and then when we talked about it last week, I was like, I didn't even realize how confusing it was. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, the more you see it, the less you understand it.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it really makes no sense. And, like, I know some of these people are good actors. Like, I know it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I've seen Ewan McGregor be a good actor. And things. I've seen him be a better actor in the trailer for his Obi-Wan show that nobody liked.
Yeah. I mean, he's been good in things that aren't necessarily great. Like, the Birds of Prey's not a great movie, but he's a lot of fun in it. Like, he gets what he's doing.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like high art or anything. It's fun.
He's really good in Fargo season 3.
And he got a big old hog.
And he's got a giant dick. Yeah, that's the thing I respect about him the most. And
he stole Riley Stearns' wife.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
Yeah, that movie sucks. That movie, like, it's undeniably the worst Star Wars movie. Like, I can't, I'm sure there's people that defend it, but I can't fathom what they like about it.
I don't know, man. Like, I never really hear, like, I'll hear, Revenge of the Sith is the one that seems like it gets defended the most.
That's also bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not nearly as bad as this, I don't think, but I don't want to watch it to confirm.
Yeah, no thank you.
But just the names of them. Like, Attack of the Clones. I forget, did the clones actually attack in this? They didn't actually attack, did they?
Kind of. Like, they kind of do, like, at the end of the movie. Also, do you guys
remember when it was Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor on some panel somewhere, and they didn't know the title of the movie, and some reporter told them, and they started laughing because they thought they were joking?
That's funny. I mean, all of the subtitles are bad. Like fucking A Phantom Menace, it's terrible. It's a terrible title. Attack of the Clones, terrible. The only reason
Empire Strikes Back is good.
Well, no, I'm saying of the prequels. Like,
I don't think Phantom Menace is a bad title until you've seen the movie and you're like,
right,
that's the Phantom Menace. It's a cool like set 'em up kind of thing, but the payoff.
It sounds like a Street Fighter character's nickname, like in Star Wars Episode 1, the Invincible Tiger or whatever the fuck.
And I mean, like, Revenge of the Sith is good, but that's only because it's riffing off of what the original title of Return of the Jedi was. So it's anyway.
Plus, Revenge is cool.
Anything else, Alex?
No, just like some TV stuff. Nothing I finished or nothing spectacular. Just a bunch of new shit is like, I feel like a bunch of new stuff is all dumped out lately that I got to catch up on. TV stuff now, like the Righteous Gemstones has like half a season out. What We Do in the Shadows has a bunch of episodes out now.
Yeah, I'm behind on all
like
of that.
At some point, like summer became like the prime TV time. I don't know when that switch happened, but I got to catch up on a bunch of that shit.
Oh, well, the other day was Mo Gabba Day, so I got to go back and watch all those videos and get all fucking blubbery about it, so that's always tough.
Yeah.
But I did watch all of one TV series. I watched I'm a Virgo, the new Boots Riley show on Amazon. It's excellent. Like, it's a really, really great show. It's about socialism, of course. But it's also like a critique of superhero media while also kind of being really good superhero media, believe it or not.
Yeah, so what's the basic premise?
So this kid gets born in Oakland, and he is like 19 feet tall.
Okay.
That's the premise.
Right. That's just it.
The parents are Mike Epps and, what is her name? Oh, I can't think of it. Like Tiffany Ajogo? Anyway, Mike Epps is actually like really funny in the show. But it's just about like class politics in Oakland, because that's what Boots Riley does. He does class politics in Oakland. But it's like all his other stuff. It's like Sorry to Bother You, where it's just this like
his one other movie project.
Right. It's like these really bonkers premises, but it's like really effective. And it does a thing that like I like, where it critiques liberalism without having to both sides it and be like, conservatism is bad. Like it takes for granted that you understand that conservatism is bad.
Well, thank God. Like, yeah.
So I don't want to.
It's only like 6 episodes too, right?
It's 7 episodes and they're half an hour long, so you can get in and out by the time you watch The Flash.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to, because there's a really great joke in it about like liberalism. So there's a cameo, and they ask the guy, like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I think the death penalty is really inhumane, so I'm studying to change it." And they're like, "Oh yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm becoming an executioner. I found out that if we put the table at 26 degrees instead of 33 degrees, it'll be a lot more humane."
That's a good joke.
But there's a super speed character, and the way they deal with that is really, really good. Like it's a lot more unique than just doing the time in a bottle thing over and over again, which we'll get into.
We'll get into that. Good God.
But I love everything that guy does. So yeah, strong recommend.
I didn't even know that he was in. Amazon's a lot like Netflix, where it's like they have a new show and they promote it for a week and then it's gone. Like I saw them promote that show, but I had no idea that he was involved in it.
Once the Amazon brass found out what it was about, they're probably like, "We shouldn't promote this so much. We don't want anybody that works here to see it."
Yeah, especially considering what like fucking Sorry to Bother You is almost explicitly about Amazon, like their working conditions anyway.
Walton Goggins. Well, capitalism is the villain, but Walton Goggins is the nominal villain.
Okay.
And it's also got an in-universe cartoon that's like really dark, and it's just like these characters giving these really like dark monologues. Slavoj Žižek is one of them.
No shit.
Yeah, but then
superhero.
Yeah, but then at the end, every one of them, there's just some kid characters walks and goes, boy, like, it's one of those things. Like
I'm sold. I have to watch it.
But yeah, that's all I watched. I wanted to watch Shin Kamen Rider, but I watched The Flash instead.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of baseball and then just being just on the couch a lot. So I didn't watch any movies.
Shout out to baseball, by the way.
You know, what just started last week, TJ, that I need to watch Good Omens season 2.
Yes, I saw that. Season 1 was great. So
I loved it. It was one of my favorite things.
Really good. Probably the best Gaiman adaptation, honestly. Like, I think, like, it's not even close. Shout out to the BBC version of Neverwhere, though, that I love to death, but it's like a hard recommend because it looks like it was shot on like a $30 budget. It's really good, though.
What about Coraline? Didn't you write that?
I like Coraline. Yeah, why do I always forget Coraline? Yeah, Coraline's fantastic.
Isn't Coraline technically like a terrible adaptation, though? Like, the movie's way different than the book.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the book.
It's a really good movie, though.
It is an excellent movie.
Stardust is also a very good adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like that movie, too. That's a Matthew Vaughn banger. All right. But yeah, I didn't watch anything. I was planning on seeing Barbie and Talk to Me, the new A24 movie, but I just didn't get around to it.
You watched Oppenheimer.
I talked about that last week.
Oh, was that last week? Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I really liked it. I didn't go see it again though. I probably won't watch it again until it comes out. It's not a movie that I need to rewatch like immediately.
Yeah. You just catch the Easter eggs.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny to me though. Like it's like I said last week. Like I've been starting to see the trickle downs of people being like, oh, it's boring, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I expected. Like the marketing around this movie and people expecting like a normal like Christopher Nolan movie with like kind of action set pieces. Like I mean, even something like, I mean, Dunkirk. Yeah, that's a bad example. Like that movie's not slow at all. There's action right off the bat. They're getting shot at and stuff.
It's wild when I see all the Nolan discourse now. 'Cause you know how every time like a big director puts a movie, they got to re-rank all his movies, and the amount of people that put The Dark Knight as his number one movie is fucking fascinating. Like,
well, I just get I get tired of the Nolan discourse because like he's become this like de facto like if you're like a film bro, you're supposed to hate him because for some reason he's like what fake like film nerds like. It's like this is absurd.
But he's not like a high art director. No. And I don't think he would consider himself one. Probably he makes pop movies, but like he makes like mainstream movies. Like
it's fucking weird, dude. Like I mean, I don't need to tell you that like film bros shit is fucking weird. It's just gotten weirder. It's like I don't know.
I'm sure he always wanted to make Interstellar, but he only had the money to make Memento. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
but I mean, like, goes. Even if you go back to Memento and following, it's not like these are like hard to follow. These aren't art films. Like, you know, I mean, they are. I mean, they're artistic.
No, but it's not climax or anything. Like, it follows a narrative structure and it has like time and shit that you understand. You don't want to like fucking like drown yourself in the bathtub after you watch them.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say real quick, since I didn't watch anything about Oppenheimer that I am annoyed by is like this like, and of course it's going to pop up, but people complaining that they don't show like the human toll of the bombs, like they don't show any Japanese people. And it's like, well, that's not the point. Like the point of the like he's like not to spoil anything, but like the whole like the last like hour of the movie is Oppenheimer like basically grappling with the fact that he's done like the worst thing in the world and it's going to cause the destruction of the entire planet. And like people,
no, they should just cut to the fucking beginning of Terminator 2.
Well, like, what do these people want? Do they want a scene where the like, Japanese people are slaughtered? Like nobody wants to see that. Like
maybe
I don't
the Chinese.
Well, yeah, well.
Fair though, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Look,
if you don't know, look up what Japan did to China during World War II. It's not great. A lot of terrible shit. Don't watch the movie Men Behind the Red Sun. That movie.
Yeah, just wait for McGee's Unit 437.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to another abomination of art and justice and humanity. DC's The Flash.
I have a question for Alec. I think I asked this to TJ, but while we were texting back and forth, because this is another one of those back and forth texters. How bad, Alec, is the Batgirl movie if they released this?
I can't imagine it's as bad. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, it
can't be, right?
What they've done with that movie just it defies logic.
Yeah, I don't
like to get a film literally done and ready to ship, and then just to can it. Like, why would you do nothing with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
they understand unless like the lead actress, like they know something allegation's going to come out against her, like she did something terrible.
Oh, you think she's like a Jonathan Majors?
I mean,
that might turn out okay for him because a lot of that court case is going in.
You can't be believing women, one. So
yeah,
but well, it's weird though, right? Because like they could at least shit. This isn't back in the day where they have to release it theatrically. They could just shit it out on Max, and it's not like people would take money from them. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it lost $9 million on Max somehow.
It literally makes it makes
everybody cancels.
No sense.
Yeah.
It also doesn't make any sense to me.
Didn't one of you guys say they said they burned it? They got rid of it.
They deleted it. Yeah, apparently it's gone.
Like,
it's all gone.
That makes
who knows
sense.
Who knows if this is actually true? Like, I have a hard time believing that someone doesn't have a copy of it. But yeah, according to like studio executives, it's literally been like deleted.
They Protocol Zero'd it, but like they even released that fucking New Mutants movie, which I ended up liking. Like, it's honestly, yeah. And like, I mean, how many times they threatened to pull the plug on that? You know, and it still got out. So like again, how bad could it be? Because that also has a Michael Keaton cameo. They probably had to pay a pretty decent amount of money for.
Yeah, I don't know, but also I don't understand how the Flash is like. I think it's the most expensive DCU movie, and it looks fucking horrendous.
Well, like, and then it's like they're like, oh, it's supposed to look like that. It's like, what is it ironic?
Yeah, no, it looks fucking terrible, and like not even just like all the CGI looks bad. Like everything about it looks.
Did they not learn the fucking CGI suit issue from Green Lantern? Like they famously made a horrendous looking CGI movie that cost $240 million, and they're like, yeah, probably not gonna learn that lesson. Let's do it again.
Yeah, it looks like
when he was doing the go back in time thing, and they were showing all those like CGI doubles.
Oh,
I was like,
God,
what? Like, what even is this? Like,
it's like confusing to fucking look at. Yeah.
Also, like, let's go through the fucking plot a little bit so we have a somewhat of.
All right, basically, it's a Frankenstein version of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know Flash's backstory, it's not all that dissimilar from Batman and half of the heroes in the DC. Like, it's in all comic books. His mom died. His mom was murdered while his dad was out doing something, and she was home alone. His dad got arrested for the murder. Barry Allen became a CSI criminologist or something to exonerate his dad and also fight crime.
Yeah.
While in the lab one night, lightning struck a bunch of bottles of speed chemicals that in turn hit Barry.
The 40s were wild. At least with like the Marvel stuff, they're like, we don't know what gamma waves might do. Who knows? But like, people had definitely been hit by lightning by the time they wrote the Flash origin story.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was the combination of getting hit by lightning and then like science chemicals.
His brain chemicals.
Yeah, yeah. Also, they couldn't get fucking Dr. Manhattan for this movie, so now Ron Livingston is Flash's dad.
That's so funny. The Billy Crudup's like, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need to check that, Beth.
I'm fine with that. I like Ron Livingston.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. It's a downgrade, but not a big downgrade.
No.
Fine.
So the Flash, we open the movie with him getting summoned by Alfred to go help with a paramilitary group stole something from a hospital, some virus from a hospital, so they can release it all over the world and kill everybody. Batman is chasing the group. Wonder Woman's fighting someone. Aquaman's fighting someone. Not there, just elsewhere. Yeah. Superman's doing something. None of them can help, so it's up to the Flash, who runs from Central City to Gotham in like a minute.
Where is Central City canonically?
It's on the West Coast, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Central City is on in California.
So I looked this up because TJ and I were having a conversation about.
I'm thinking of the Green
Lanterns. Coast City is.
I think Central City, I think it's supposed to be like Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
No, Gotham is Chicago.
I thought Gotham was
New York. Yeah.
I thought Gotham was Chicago and Metropolis was New York.
It's also
it's wild that in the DC universe that all
I thought Metropolis was Toronto. Someone's told me. I don't know.
Toronto? What? Truth, justice, in the American way?
Fighting for truth, justice, in the Canadian way.
Ew, gross.
Whoever said that's a fucking idiot.
But also, I think Sean's probably about to say this, but in the DC continuity, regular cities exist on top of the fake cities.
And their DC analogs exist.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
somehow.
sense. Yeah.
Also, so I looked it up, Alec. The Flash can run several million exponential times the speed of light because we're like, how is it that, like, if he runs and catches anything, should it just immediately turn into a ping mist because he's going 10 billion miles an hour?
Yeah, well, that's always how they explained it in the comics, right? Like, he can run so fast. Like, they do the thing where he, like, vibrates through crap. But yeah. I've seen that explained in the comics that he goes so fast that, like, he would run through people, but it'd be fine. Like, but in the movie, it's not, well, we'll get into it. Just keep going, Alec. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the Flash, Batman is tasked with taking out the bad guys. The Flash is tasked with putting out a fire so the hospital doesn't blow up and then saving a bunch of babies. But he gets super hungry, so he has to stop and eat a bunch of candy bars.
Oh my God, the hungry thing. Jesus Christ, the hungry.
I honestly didn't mind the hungry thing. Cause like,
really?
I don't know why, but in my mind that makes sense that like your metabolism, from having to run like that, you would need to eat it's like Michael Phelps. You ever see that SNL sketch with like the Michael Phelps diet plan?
Yeah, but here's the other thing.
You know what? I'm fine with it if it gets introduced and becomes relevant later, but it just kind of gets dropped.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the movie, he's literally running through time, like reversing time, and they never eat. He never eats again after the opening scene. It's like, okay.
And he eats a whole bunch through the whole movie.
Not when they kept changing the fucking time.
I mean, they do it when he does the apartment thing, but like TJ said, they whichever one goes through the time stream 9 billion times, and his fucking angry alarm never goes off or whatever. So it's a bit of like lore explanation that it's like, well, how would that work? And then it's like, oh, it's not important to the rest. It's like, then just leave it out. I don't care.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I've never read
it's like let's start tugging on like, okay, well, how come he's not like obliterating all these buildings every time he runs through? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just let me my lightning magic. It's fine, whatever. Just move on.
That's what I want to see. I want to see angry Flash movie where he's just like blowing. It's like the. What's the Flash analog in The Boys? It just obliterates people.
A-Train?
Yeah.
A-Train, yeah. Just, the girl's teeth are like all that's left.
Yeah.
But anyway, he saves a bunch of babies, goes back to his everyday, runs back to Central City because he still has to get back there in time for work.
Those babies are horrifying, by the way.
Dude. Oh, the babies. The
saving all babies and the soft spots on their heads.
Yep. And he puts one in a microwave.
Bro, this is the worst opening in any of these movies, and like, I guess it's one of those start as you mean to go on, cause it's like the fucking gag with the title card sucks. Like, it's just like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah. But anyway. And then the baby thing is like really bad. And again, like I texted Sean about it, like I know this is a dumb movie for idiots, but like the physics of this scene doesn't make any sense, cause these babies are falling like,
he runs out of Flash juice while he's saving the babies, but again, it does not come back up later. So what was the point?
Yeah, I don't know. It's real bad.
So you can set up that snotty French waiter joke. You know, I know he's not a French waiter, but it's the same joke.
I guess it's supposed to be funny, the baby scene, and it just oh God, it just went on and
horrifying.
Yeah, it does. It also, the CGI in this scene especially just looks.
It looks like the baby from Train Spotting when it's crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah, it looks really fucking bad. It just, and then also like, to go back to Batman briefly, what was up with that suit? It had like holes in the chest. It was like, what the fuck was it? Why didn't he just have the regular like Zack Snyder suit like that?
You know what's fucking wild about Batman in all these movies, like the non-Batman solo movies? Well, that he sucks. Like, they can't figure out what to do with him, so he's always just the guy that's driving the vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that happens in every one of these movies.
He can't keep up with anybody else.
Right.
He can't, like, fly. Which that Wonder Woman can fly.
Yeah, but just don't put him in a fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done that, but...
Yeah, Gal Gadot shows up to make sure that the babies he saved aren't Palestinian, and then like they do that fucking lasso joke again.
Yeah, that one never gets old.
We find out that Barry's a virgin.
Yeah.
In the comics, like when she does the lasso, she has to ask them a question, right? They don't just start blabbering about nothing, or is that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I think it is because it's the lasso of truth, not the lasso of spilling all my
confession.
Randomly. Yeah, like if TJ got hit with it, he wouldn't just be like, "Well, I'm gay." It would have to ask him.
I mean,
ask him questions like, "Are you gay?"
You'd be like, you could just ask me.
Right.
Yeah. You don't need no lasso.
No, I don't need no damn lasso.
Well, not for that. I mean, a different reason.
Unless I'm tying up a dude.
Yeah, exactly. Tying her up on my newts.
So Barry saves the babies. They have a hilarious tete-a-tete with Gal Gadot, who flew to Gotham just to get Batman off a bridge, then flew away.
Terrible.
And what's his name's mom has the exact same accent it sounded like to me. Almost, she sounded just like Gal Gadot.
You're talking about Barry's mom? How like his mom's like Dominican and his dad's white and he's like Filipino? Like I'm not sure what's going on with them.
Yeah. So Barry goes back to Central City, gets to work with his I don't even know what you call it, his uppity emo coworkers.
What is the point of them?
I don't even know how just so they could come back in the Elseworlds version and you could see them as like emo-er, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
And like two of them are fucking or something. It's like, oh my God. Why do I care about that?
We don't. That day or the next day is Barry's dad's trial. Iris comes back into play because she's concerned about Barry for his dad's trial, but also she's a reporter who just wants to report the news. Barry gets mad.
I didn't bother looking. Is this the same actress that played her in the Justice League movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But it's not the same gal from the show, right?
No.
They should have gone with the guy from the show to be him.
Much better.
He's much more personable and much more charming.
They put every other goddamn thing in here. Why didn't they put the fucking Flash from the TV show in the fucking movie? Everything. Like, why not?
I didn't think about that. Why not? Bring in all those Arrowverse people. I mean, fucking people love that Arrowverse.
Hey, at least the Arrowverse, they're like actual actors, not like weird PlayStation 2 looking CGI characters. Like, at least that would be like something tangible, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Amell might be fun in this. Like, I enjoy him sometimes.
Yeah. Apparently Heels is really good.
Is it? The promo was terrible.
You know, besides the fact of how it looks, that first season of Arrow is not bad. Like, for everything else, like, I don't hate it.
That's kind of how I felt about the first couple of seasons of The Flash. Like, the effects are not great.
Right.
But the, writing isn't terrible.
No, like, the first Green Arrow is, like, super violent for a CW show. I mean, he's just going around fucking murking people the whole time.
He does the Batman voice thing, too, doesn't he? He growls when he, So then Barry realizes he can go back in time.
Gonna go back in time. This just occurred to him now. Like,
because he did it in the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did it,
I forgot.
And he just realizes that he could. Like, this is supposedly Justice League movie in our time happened in 2017. That's 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So it took him 6 years to realize, I could do this to save my mom. You think that's not the first fucking thing any normal person would think of? He's busy, counting rice grains off the floor.
Yeah.
Can we real quick, before I forget about it, talk about fucking Henry Allen's, very flimsy court case where he, has no receipt, nor does he have a credit card charge, nothing to prove that he was at this grocery store. And on that little bit of evidence, they're like, fucking put him in prison forever.
Yeah. Also, not for nothing, and I'll probably talk about this later because it really, really bothers me.
Yeah.
So Flash's dad goes to the store. Flash is upstairs whacking off or whatever. And then when Flash's dad comes back, his mom is just stabbed and dead in the kitchen.
Right. They haven't been alerted at all. Isn't it in the comic that it's Zoom or something kills his mom?
Professor Zoom does it in the comic.
Yeah.
But in this movie,
glad Professor Zoom didn't show up.
Yeah.
fucking be.
Well, we can use this better name, Reverse Flash.
Well, I think Reverse Flash is Keith David in the TV show, and the costume's not bad, if I recall. It's like all black with like the fucking like Cenobite mouth thing.
That's pretty sick. But my point is that so that's never really addressed in this movie. The question of who killed his mother is never brought up, and he goes like spoiler alerts for this movie, but he goes back in time to like basically like set things back the way they were. And he doesn't stick around to, like, look who kills his mom. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, no one in the movie mentions it. It's just like, oh yeah, she just got stabbed in the kitchen by somebody. Like, what?
Well, like, the way things, like, change and are not changed by him going back make, like, absolutely no sense.
Yeah, so anyway, continuing.
So he decides, he goes back in time, sees his mom at the grocery store, puts the can of tomatoes in her cart so she didn't forget it, so his dad never has to go to the store. So presumably his dad is home when the intruder comes in, and it kills the intruder.
But not addressed.
Yeah, but not addressed at all.
Nope. When Flash is on his way back to the present, he gets knocked out of the time or the Speed Force time warp thing by an entity, which ends up being future Evil Flash. Kind of.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, in the TV show, his name was Zabatar. He's the god of speed.
Zabatar. Of course it is.
I watched so many seasons of that show waiting for it to get better again. It never did.
It's like every villain in these things are like fucking the Chris Chan villains, where it's just everybody's name fucking backwards and shit.
So he gets knocked out of the Speed Force thing 5 years earlier. He runs into his other self from that actual timeline, who is in college and coming home to get his mom to do laundry for him. He's coming home to get his mom to do laundry for him, even though he lives like 5 minutes away in the city. Barry says, "Oh, we need," for some reason, I can't remember the reason why, but he decided they both need powers to go back to the future.
No. Barry needs this. The Barry Prime, for lack of a better term, has no powers. So for him to get back to his reality.
But before that, his plan was to give younger Barry powers, so they both have powers for some reason.
No,
he lost his power
no.
When the other Barry got it.
I think I could be wrong, but I thought that he needed past Barry to get his powers, because then if he didn't, it creates a time paradox.
But he created the paradox anyway, because if young Barry got his powers.
I mean, the movie's not written very well.
Okay.
I think that's how I took it. I thought, because he's like, this is the night I get my powers, so like you have to go get your powers. Like,
but this kid is in college instead of working in a police station right off the bat, so he didn't get his.
Right.
I gotcha. Oh god. So it ends up with Barry 2 gets powers and Barry 1 loses his somehow. Which eventually shows one of the best scenes from Flashpoint later on, which they didn't go nearly gross enough in this one like they do in the comics. So as they're during the streets, walking alone together, they see on the news that Zod has brought the world engine to Earth.
Yeah,
but there's no Superman. There's no Superman to stop him.
Yeah, the dubstep gun. If you guys remember that from Man of Steel, the big dubstep laser that terraformed the Earth. That's going to terraform the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, Zod, and they don't even bother naming his two cronies in this one.
I think the one though is still the same actress, or at least it's the hot one, the one.
Yeah,
from the one that.
Michael Shannon shows up with his fucking stock footage army. But you gotta see the interview with Michael Shannon where he's talking about how his agent calls, like, hey, you want to play General Zod in this? He's like, did they see the first movie? Because I died in that one. And he's like, no, it's a multiverse. He's like, this shit doesn't make any sense.
He seems so bored in this movie.
And then they probably were like, how's a mill sound? He's like, great, I'll be there.
He seems like he'd rather be anywhere else but in this movie. Like, does not seem interested in this movie at all.
And none of us like Man of Steel, but I think we all can agree that I sailed here on an ocean of stars. Like, that whole monologue is actually really good, in that movie.
He's good in Man of Steel. I mean, Man of Steel sucks, but it's not Michael Shannon's fault. I mean, I think we're all big Michael Shannon fans on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that movie, that Bigfoot movie that he's in, where he catches his wife bagging her
yeah, I gotta check that, yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. It's like Christmas
I remember you talking about it, yeah.
But yeah.
So Zod comes to Earth, and they say, oh, we gotta find the Justice League. They can't find Diana Prince. Bruce Wayne's phone number doesn't work.
And we get
Batman. They try calling Aquaman's dad.
Yeah, we get a Boba Fett appearance. That actor, I forget his name.
Tamora Morrison.
Who didn't end up sleeping with an Atlantean princess in this verse, so there is no Aquaman.
Yeah, but there is a nice joke that allow me to put on my liberal hat here. There's a nice joke that he didn't get to bang Nicole Kidman. He just now has a fat, ugly wife.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Is she the Queen of Atlantis? Nope. She's just some fat lady. Whackity smacking dude.
It's like, what the fuck? What kind of joke is that? Anyway.
They straight up kind of call Batman like crank anchors.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten too sensitive in my old age, but I was like, that's kind of a fucked up joke. I was like, Anyway.
You know what would have been a funnier version of that joke? If they cut to, his extremely gay husband, and he's like, well, he's certainly a queen. I don't know of what, though. And then they just
hilarious. Back. That would have been funny. He's
not from Atlantis. He's definitely
a queen. See? This is why we need to punch these scripts up.
There you go.
Better. Or they flash back real quick to him meeting him in
Atlanta,
a club called Atlantis.
Oh, that was perfect. Yeah,
that's perfect.
He's like, Tommy, are you an Atlantean queen?
You know it, honey.
Anyway, so they give up.
I'm from Savannah, and you know that.
So Flash can't find any of the superpowered Justice League members.
Yeah.
So he just falls into despair. Doesn't ask about the one who's actually closest to him, emotionally, that he talks to fairly regularly, it seems. And then when somebody says something about Batman, he's like, you have to have Batman? Like, yeah.
Because everybody goes, I'm Batman. So everybody's familiar with his catchphrase, which seems weird if they're not criminals. But,
this part
why
of the
would
movie.
he be the last one you ask about?
Yeah, the guy that the movie is your best friend.
The one who's a rich, normal dude who would take the least amount of, insane things happening to show up.
Right. He's just some guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so they go and they find Batman. They find Bruce Wayne in his house with the bells for the servants. I didn't mind any of the Michael Keaton stuff. I love Michael Keaton.
I'll tell you what. I thought he was though.
I just wish they wouldn't. I wish when they first introduced him, they wouldn't have made him capable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's clearly just been sitting around his house for 30 years eating spaghetti.
Yeah.
Which, awesome. Good for you, man. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's dope.
He's still battle ready Batman. It doesn't make any sense.
He took out a powered and an unpowered Flash in 2 minutes.
Well, I told TJ, I thought for some reason that he was supposed to be Thomas Wayne, and that's why he was so much older.
That would have been more interesting.
Because it doesn't make any sense. That's also what happens in Flashpoint, otherwise.
By the way.
Is that what happens in the book?
Flashpoint, the Batman he encounters is Thomas Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's everybody else doesn't happen, but Batman happens basically exactly like it was supposed to, but just before it did in his timeline. I know this is a dumb movie for idiots about fucking lightning magic, but I don't know, the conceit that, like, him not changing his mom getting killed changes all of these other events except for that, and, like, Zod coming at exactly the same time. Yeah. So, like,
I don't know, and like the thing I just real quick about Michael Keaton, like, he's fine, he does his best. I just hate the fact, and I mean, you know, I know why they do it, but they just can't help themselves. They're tripping over themselves to be like, remember Batman 89? Remember, like they're like, hey Batman, want to go on an adventure? And he's like, you want to go nuts? Let's get nuts. Like, shoot me in the fucking face. Like, what the fuck?
But like I told you, it doesn't, like, it's not even set up. Like, no. All you got to do to massage it, and it still sucks, but it's like, we can't go assault that base. That's nuts. And then they just cut the. You don't even have to have him say the line. You just say it's nuts, and he just, like, you could do it. There's better ways to do it than just, like, it feels like it was cut in from something else.
Also, and I know why.
Maybe it was cut in from Batgirl.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, also how much do you weigh is in there, and like it's like, how many fucking lines can we cram in? It's like, you already got fucking Keaton. Like, you don't need to do this. It's so bad. Also, and I know why they didn't do it, because of fucking money. But like, he's like old Batman. Like, have him have like the fucking robot suit from like the fucking Kingdom Come or something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
like,
just have him be Batman Beyond. Like,
how about just having Batman Beyond? That would have been fucking cool. Like, you know how Batman Beyond was like, Bruce Wayne was the old man, and then Batman Beyond was Batman Beyond? Do that.
Well, yeah, you pull up in the mansion, and he's sitting in his chair, and he's all old, and it's like, this guy ain't fucking Batman. And then you see, like, the red eyes in the window or something from Terry or whatever his name was.
I was going to say,
I think it was Terry, yeah.
I can't remember Batman Beyond's name.
Do anything. It's like the laziest, like, oh, you guys are... And, like, he wasn't, like, Batman in that movie, besides the let's get nuts, which is, that line is, like, everybody remembers it because it's so out of character for the rest of the movie. That wasn't, like, his character in the movie, but they just made him, like, real silly in this for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, and like, I hated the, like, so anyway, so what happens is, I forget, like, Flash, his superpower is, he's really good at Google searches. And the Batman, they would talk it off by saying Batman has like a secret backdoor to like every FBI thing or whatever. But like, Flash Googles Superman and finds that like the Russians are keeping him. So then they all fly off to Russia, in the Batwing. And like, it's just like, I don't know. They fight a bunch of,
like, halfway, like in Flashpoint and halfway.
Yeah, Flashpoint kind of similar to that. Yeah. But there's a scene where Batman like fights a bunch of guys, and it's all like CGI horse shit, and I'm just like, I'm just so tired. I'm tired.
Well, the Supergirl fight's all CGI horse shit, but I kind of don't hate it because at least it's something. Like, I kind of want to see that movie. Just give me the Kara Zor-El going nuts and just like murdering everybody movie.
We'll talk about her and how useless she is in this movie. But so anyway, they find that it's not Kal-El, it's what's her name, Zor-El?
Kara Zor-El.
Yeah, it's Superman's cousin. So I think in this continuity, I can't remember, like, somebody blew up Clark's fucking ship, right? That's what they said?
No, they caught him and killed him, like, I don't know, trying to extract something or whatever, and she was sent to...
No, that was remember, Sean, that was the plot of Man of Steel. Remember, he was trying to get, like, the genetic coding from, like...
But it turns out she was the Codex for reasons?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he says.
So based on this scenario, that means in Zack Snyder's regular Justice League universe, she is still
in a Russian,
of the Russians.
Or did she come at all in that continuity?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she got captured and killed in this continuity. I don't know. But yeah, they said the baby did not survive the infant didn't survive the procedure or whatever. And then Kara Zor-El gets obliterated like 10 times.
She does like nothing. She's like so worthless in this movie. Like,
which like I don't understand. Like,
well, I didn't read Flashpoint.
I don't understand. Period. Like, a lot of things in this movie. Like, why even make her a character?
Right.
Why the whole Zod
get
thing
blown up over and over and over?
Is in Flashpoint, is that the one where, or no, that's a different Elseworlds one where like
Flashpoint, it's
the Atlanteans are fighting the fucking
Amazon. Yeah. And they're like,
why not do that?
Destroying the world.
Yeah, that would have been much better.
Or is that just a money thing? It's just cheaper because they've got all the B-roll from Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They could have done a lot of that without actually showing full-on battles. But
why don't you have? I wish they would have had that Voltron Shazam that they had in Flashpoint. I always thought that was kind of cool. There's like Shazam wasn't one like Billy Batson. It was like 5 kids that had to come together to make Shazam. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Flashpoint had a lot of cool stuff in it. I just read it for the first time a few months ago. I really liked it.
They stole that from fucking Cyforce or one of those fucking New Universe things where they're all on motorcycles and they all form together to form this like super.
You're right.
BP, something like that. Yeah. I think it was Cyforce. Shout out Jim Shooter.
So they get Kara Zor-El. She kills a bunch of Russians. She finds out about Zod and sees Zod, and then comes back and says, well, I'm going to join your little fight. And then they just proceed to go and like basically are like gnats against this army over and over and over.
Yeah,
they
over
keep
and
losing,
over and over.
Going back. It's kind of like Live, Die, Repeat, but not fun. They keep losing, going back, trying something else. That doesn't work. They go back, try something else. That doesn't work. Every time younger Barry is getting like impaled in different parts of his body by different blades.
Yeah.
So he's just like growing an army of blades out of his body.
Yeah.
Which looks stupid.
Well, this is also another one of those. Two things, real quick. One, Kara Zor-El has the Mr. Burns arc where it's like some people never change or they change very quickly and change very quickly back where she's like, I don't need to help you people. And it's like, I'm going to help you people.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care about humans. And then I care about humans.
This has the time travel problem where it's like, instead, like they can go back literally anywhere they want to. There's no limitations discussed on how far they can go back. It's like, go back months and tell whoever at Star Labs, be like, hey, there's going to be a spaceship entering orbit in about 6 months. So you might want to just point a big ass gun out there and blow it up before it gets here, or anything.
If you don't believe us, here, point your telescope that way.
Right?
And
yeah, it takes a while. Yeah.
Why don't you go back and intercept fucking Supergirl's like pod before she gets captured by the Russians? And
anything, but no, I'm going to go back to 10 seconds before this and run into the same wall over and over again. It's like the Borg in First Contact, where it's
they're
like
literally they're playing
go back to
Hotline Miami mode.
Yeah, go back to the 1800s and take over the Earth. Don't wait till they have a chance to fight back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to make it a sporting fight. Like, no. Finish it.
This movie kind of forgets it's about Barry and his mom for like, I feel like the whole third act.
Yeah.
Like, and then they bring it back. And like the idea of them constantly like trying to fix it and failing every time is interesting. It's not original, but it's something, right? Like, but they don't do anything with it. And then we have to take a march through Hollywood inside jokes, the Superman Lives spider and the fucking, we didn't mention the Eric Stoltz and Back to the Future thing, which fucking infuriated me because not only did they do it once, but they kept leaning into it. It's like, we get it. Everybody knows that Eric Stoltz is supposed to be in Back to the Future. Who is this joke for?
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned it, but like, I can't remember if they actually name it, but like the nexus of time that they keep going to, like when they run to like the middle of time where they're like keep reversing time. It looks like shit. It looks like a credits roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's this weird like CGI like carousel kind of thing that's around them, and it looks really bad. And then it leads to the scene Sean's talking about.
But they can control it like a remote control.
Yeah.
Either going forward by going forward or going backwards in time by running backwards.
It's so fucking stupid.
Which I think is an actual Flash thing, which is really fucking dumb.
Oh, in the comics, he literally has a cosmic treadmill, and I'm not joking about that.
Yeah, okay.
Then it leads to this scene that Sean's talking about where, so now you have these planets that also look like big giant carousels of things happening, and then they decide to show the most
they're doing
random...
Crisis on Infinite Earths for a second, then
all of the CGI cameos look so unbelievably bad. You have fucking Christopher Reeve, and the
R.I.P. Also, why is that in there? Like, it looks horrendous. It's way worse than the Peter Cushing in Star Wars one.
Oh, they show fucking Batman 66, Adam West, and I don't know if you guys saw the meme, but they didn't put his ears on. They didn't animate the fucking ears. It looks so bad. Then you get the fucking Nick Cage Superman for some reason fighting a spider, and it's like, Nick Cage is still alive. Why didn't you just put fucking Nick Cage in a goddamn movie?
Because he's like, I ain't showing up for this shit. Also, like, you have to be, like, it's like an inside nerd joke, but it's like the most base nerd joke of the fucking giant spider. Like, yeah, we all saw that Kevin Smith clip, because he talks about it on every show.
Did they have to pay Nick Cage to use his likeness?
Well, 1,000,000,000%. Like, you think he'd just let him do it?
I mean, I don't know.
Taxes.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know how that works. No, I guess I'm asking more like, do they legally have to pay him for that?
Oh, do you think because, like, they commissioned it from whenever the fuck that, like, they can just use it? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to look into that.
Stacey was looking into some of that, and she said that she was looking at it, and they had to get, like, cameo rights.
Oh, okay.
Like, they had to pay some money to, like, the Reeves estate, and, I don't think Helen Slater's dead.
That's
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, for all I know, she could be.
You want to talk about a shitty movie? Yeah, that movie sucks.
That movie's fucking weird as shit. I remember that from a kid that came out like 84, 85. That movie's fucking wild. So they finally stop fighting, stop going back in time. Flash goes back.
You didn't mention the resolution of, like, evil old Flash coming back with all that shit stuck to him, because it's still 2003, because that design still isn't tired, where it's just like, let's just cram a bunch of crap on him for some reason.
Jagged, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like the original Megatron.
Yeah,
from the Transformers movies.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I pushed you out of the Speed Force to set this all up. Okay, see you later, movie. Like,
yeah. Oh God. And then they have a showdown because Barry can't fit. Barry can't fix
it out.
Yeah, they talk. Yeah. Well, one of them gets stabbed and dies, right? Because isn't that where the evil one stabs younger Barry at that point?
I think he stabs him. I don't think he dies.
I thought they both died. Or I thought he died. I could have sworn he died. I don't remember.
I mean, I watched this less than a day ago, and I can't remember.
Why would you? It's your body's way of trying to protect you.
Yeah. Barry goes back, and a scene that teared me up a little bit. Got to see his mom one last time.
Yeah.
And got it,
but the thing
had to basically kill her.
Oh, I got a little choked up.
Take a can of tomatoes out of the cart.
I got a little choked up too because my mom has the same accent, but it's not like you give a shit about them, but you understand the concept of losing a parent. That's what you're reacting to, right?
Thinking about your own parents, yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, it's not like the movie doesn't earn that. It's just like a very cheap sentiment. Like, we all, know what it's like or to lose someone close to us. And it's like, oh, that's sad. The concept of people dying is sad. It has nothing to do with
But to go back to what I was saying too, like, here again, like, Barry he sets things back into motion, doesn't stick around in the kitchen and see, hey, I wonder who did this. Like, that thought never, no one asks, and that thought never crosses his mind, which blows my mind. Like,
it blows my mind that, like, Wayne Tech is altered somehow and that they can restore the video and that never came up before. Like, that's a real goofy resolution to the fucking surveillance video problem.
Yeah. So
because it's a different Bruce Wayne now.
Yeah, well, clearly, yeah.
So he goes back to what he thinks is his timeline, and he gets his dad off.
Based.
And then Bruce Wayne shows up, and it's fucking George Clooney, because fucking shoot me in the fucking face.
Also, why? But you know what it reminded me of is the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, where he goes back to his own world and everybody has snake tongues. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever, yeah. And that's kind of the same.
What are the questions he asked? People, it was like, is everybody, or the people? Yes. What of donuts? They're plentiful.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What of donuts? What? I love the one. I love where they don't know what donuts are, and then they start.
It's raining. Yeah.
Donuts.
Oh, look, it's raining again.
They're all like in their formal wear.
Aren't they like they're like super rich, right? And Patty and Selma are
dead. They just died like that day.
Anyway, so that's the movie. Flash says, "What the fuck?" and then the movie ends, and that's the Flash.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind that. I thought that was funny. I didn't mind if you're gonna have all the Batman show up, why not have Clooney show up too?
Dick Kilmer, that would have been funnier.
Oh,
hey, Barry.
It's just sad.
Barry, I'm sorry. It's good to see you again.
I did laugh one time in this movie when he goes, oh, he's like, shit. They're like, what? He's like, I gotta take a shit, but that's just because I'm stupid. I thought that was funny.
Just like shit.
Yeah.
Also, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Never mind. I was gonna say, I already have a lot of respect for Christian Bale, but I have even more respect for him because apparently Warner Brothers was going to pay him like $10 million to be in this movie, and he turned it down.
Nope. We're making a multiverse movie, and he goes, "Good for you."
Oh, good for you. Yeah. Anyway, that's the Flash. A fucking mess. Also, this movie feels so fucking long.
It is fucking long. It's 2.5 hours long, and nothing happens.
A 2.5 hour long movie with no villain. I mean, I know
it's 2.5 hours of a movie to set up part of a movie that you already saw.
Yeah, and I know Zod's the villain, but like he's kind of an afterthought by the time the movie's over. Like,
yeah,
right? Like, did I feel like am I the only one that felt that way? It's like you kind of like once the movie's over, you're like, oh yeah, Zod was in this movie.
Well, it's like, oh, this world has to die, and it's like, okay, well, everybody that we are introduced to is already dead, so like, who cares? Like, I don't know anything about this world, nor do I give a shit. Like, there's no stakes to use a Gogsism.
They tried to, like, so you mentioned Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is obviously something they're trying to kind of like glom onto a little bit. And there was another great. I forget the name, the Secret Wars, something Jonathan Hickman was doing with like the Marvel thing where they were doing, Marvel has their own multiverse thing too.
Oh, where they went to Battle World and they went to all the fucking goofball, side story planets. Yeah.
But there was this, I think it was called Illuminati. There was this thing where it was like the Marvel, like the smartest Marvel characters, and they had this like secret faction, but they were having to worry about like, these incursions where like they literally would have to make the calculus of like what world to save and what world not save. It's really good. And
Jonathan Hickman's a good writer though.
Yeah, he's one of the best. And I feel like this movie is like trying to get you some kind of emotional core of like, oh, all these people are gonna die, but like I don't care, like at all. Like
the problem is it's just a greatest hits movie, but like all that shit sucks.
And the other thing is, you don't really spend, like, the movie, again, like, and this is a problem with a lot of fucking, especially DC movies, but, like, Marvel movies, too. The tone is not ever established very well. Like, Barry is just yucking it up the whole time, and it's just like...
Well, he's such an irritating presence that having one that's even more irritating doesn't do what I think they want it to do. Agreed. Like, I don't like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, I feel bad for regular Barry because this one's so annoying. It's like they're both just irritating at different levels.
Yeah, and they do that one joke where Barry Prime is like realizing how annoying he is, and it's like, yeah, just because you point it out doesn't make it less annoying.
Yeah. You use monkey for target practice. What?
Alec, what was your favorite aspect of this film? Was it the science? There was a little bit of science in this movie.
No, the science was trash.
Damn.
It was probably the art direction.
Yeah.
Especially during the CGI parts.
Yeah.
No, this movie is not good. But I can name at least 3 DC movies that are worse.
That's fair.
But the thing is, like, they should have learned something by now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, those movies are all bad. Let's course correct a little bit. And it's they made the same mistakes again.
I was just reading a little bit about this one a few minutes ago, and I wonder how much like oversight this guy had, because this is post all the Snyder stuff and before James Gunn's doing it. It's like, were they just like, whatever, man, you got the funding already, just fucking go. We don't give a shit.
And James Gunn,
they probably said like, you can use these characters, don't kill these characters because we need them for the future, but anything else, whatever. Like, we don't care.
Yeah, and it's confusing continuity-wise because James Gunn has said that this is technically the first of the new DC EU, which makes no sense. And also,
they gotta fire Ezra Miller, right? Like, that is going to happen one way or another, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to. Also, this has really nothing to do with this movie, but we still have Aquaman 2 that they didn't release yet, which is part of the Snyderverse, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why hasn't that come out? Like, it's done. It's been done.
Yeah.
Like, it's
that's coming out like later this year, I think.
But like, shouldn't that come out before Flash? Like, if this is supposed to be the new one, like it's.
Well, wait a minute. If this is the like launch, the cornerstone of the new movies, does that mean like going forward, George Clooney is going to be Batman?
I don't know.
Because that's what you set up.
Yeah.
I love George Clooney, so like that'd be cool with that. Or like, is he going to be Batman? Like you guys are saying, like in Batman Beyond, where they cast a young, strapping Batman, and he's just like he's like a, what's his name? That was the old leader. Like was it Max Lord? He was like the head of the Justice League, or their like leader.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about this is they also throw like the Jay Garrick Flash in there with zero explanation. Like it's like, hey, check that out. Like
about that, the Jay Garrick Flash. So people thought that was the actor that played the Flash in the old TV show. John something. You know, the one from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just it's not even a person. It's just some CGI creation. Like that's not anybody.
But like, am I to understand that is that supposed to be an alternate version of this Flash, or does that mean like in this continuity there was another, like, it's like, why is it? I know why it's in there, because somebody can point at it and go, look, that's the so somebody can like, it's the meme of the guy yelling at his girlfriend like it's the Golden Age Flash, or like,
he was in the fucking, for some reason he was in the George Reeves timeline. He was in the old Superman time, which doesn't make any sense because he wasn't on that show, so whatever.
Right.
It's fucking terrible.
Apparently, Ezra Miller and Grant Morrison wrote a version of the script that was a lot darker. Let
me see the Grant Morrison one. Jesus Christ. It's all about like fucking psychic terror or some shit.
I would have liked to seen that. Also, like, man, I hope Grant Morrison isn't buddies with Ezra Miller. That's a little disappointing if it is.
Well, Grant Morrison also wrote Predator Concrete Jungle, so like, you know, he can do things wrong.
Yeah.
But supposedly that James Gunn wanted to adapt All-Star Superman is what I've heard, but who knows?
That's what he said. That's what he said. His script is based on, which, I mean, that's my favorite Superman story. But also, that is a story in which Superman dies.
It's the last Superman story. Yeah.
So like, I don't know how you base your movie or your first movie around that. That's real fucking ambitious.
Bold choice, God.
This was written by John Francis Daly.
Who's that?
The golfer?
No.
Oh.
I wish. No, he was the main character on Freaks and Geeks, and he writes like half the movies in Hollywood right now. He wrote all the Spider-Man movies, all the new ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's kind of goofy, skinny, goofy looking.
Doesn't he play a teacher in the Spider-Man movies, or am I thinking of a different actor?
You're thinking of Martin Starr.
Yes, I am thinking of Martin Starr.
So, like, real quick, going forward for DC Universe, right? So Joker is in a separate continuity. The Matt Reeves Batman is in a separate continuity. And these are a separate continuity. So there's 3 Batmen, in separate continuities in this same fucking,
And there's going to be a new one.
Mess.
There's going to be another one, because there's I think a Brave and the Bold in production that's going to come out.
Fuck 4.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn's deal, he's going to have an established, rebooted DC EU, and he's also going to have an Elseworlds line going on. Which
God, I hope that
fucking I want to see all the Elseworlds and shit. That's their best stuff DC does.
Yeah.
This writer's strike never fucking ends.
How much of a mess is that going to be for like the normal average moviegoer who's hasn't read any of this shit? I'm going to go see The Flash. I'm going to go see a Flash Elseworlds movie that has nothing to do with.
I think you're right. Like, I think like they're going kind of Icarus with geek culture because they're like, oh, well, we can plumb from all these things, but like, you know, because this has become the predominant pop culture, I don't think everybody's going to be super stoked to see Superman the Nail or fucking Gotham by Gaslight or whatever the fuck else they want to do.
Yeah. Like, how well do you think across all of America, like Superman Red Sun would do?
Oh, forget it. Oh my God. Yeah, they'll never make that. People.
Man of Steel didn't even really do well. You know what I mean? Like, considering.
Yeah. Superman, he seems like the easiest, like one of the easiest, like not like to adapt like visually, but like writing wise, like the easiest to adapt to a movie.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a legally distinct MAGA Superman and sell it to the fucking Daily Wire because that seems like a layup.
Oh my God, you'd be rich.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then you can finally write your gay X-Men basketball analog movie.
Hell yeah, but I can't sell that to the Daily Wire.
No, you can sell that to
like Jezebel Productions or something. Anyway, let's go into Five Knuckle Shuffles real quick. Alex,
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was not good. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as Attack of the Clones. Like Attack of the Clones.
I mean, that is the correct.
That is a good. Yeah.
Like it's not like abysmal, but it definitely wasn't good, and it didn't leave a good like taste in my mouth. It's like a lot of people say like Marvel with their new phase, whatever phase this is, 6 or whatever, is all over the place. Yeah. But they're trying to be all over the place. The DCU is just all over the fucking place. They don't know what they're doing. They're just like, I don't know, turn out some more crap. See what happens. Throwing everything in the wall to see what sticks, and then when that sticks, it's like, oh, we're gonna make everything like that now.
But the problem is everything they
Suicide Squad was a hit. Everything's gonna be like the Suicide Squad now. Everything's gonna be all jokey and.
Yeah, but everything they throw at a wall comes back and kills somebody.
It's sad because having competition right between Marvel and DC, it should bring out like the best stuff, and it's just bringing out the worst stuff. Like another way, like Sean said, they've spent all this money on these movies, and the reaction to these DC movies has not been quiet at all. And they just don't listen. They don't take any heed of what they've done. The only thing they can do is be like, well, like Alex just said, well, James Gunn's fun and his style is good, so now everything's got to be that. It's like, no, you got to go back to when Marvel was consistently good. There was tonal shifts in the stuff. But
they can't because they're so far behind. You know what I mean? They're in an arms race that they lost years ago. True. None of us really like the Snyder movies, but at least you understood what he was trying to do. There's something there. This is just
there was a vision. It was very misguided, but it was a vision.
Yeah.
Your visionary director, Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Right.
When's this stupid Star Wars movie coming out?
I don't know. When are we reviewing it?
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
As soon as it comes out.
Called Rebel Moon.
It's literally called Rebel Star Wars.
Well, didn't he have to make didn't he lose? It's not an actual Star Wars movie, is it?
No,
it was a script for a Star Wars movie that he was supposed to make.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's not coming out until December. December 22nd.
Netflix's big Netflix release.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. So.
Yeah, a 4. I really I don't have the same love for DC as I do for Marvel. And but I would still love to see them get their shit together. I'd love to see a good Superman movie or a good Justice League movie.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun. And there's a lot of shit I remember from DC's. I'd love to see the death of Superman, but not the way they did it. I want to see the full-on death and funeral for a friend and all that weird shit with the cyborgs and.
TJ, what's that Mike Grell, the Longbow Hunter, that Green Lantern series? Like,
oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That kind of like street level one, yeah.
Even like, I mean, there's so many great DC stories, and the fact is, like, just like go off of your animated stuff that's so good. Like, if they adapted stories from like Justice League Unlimited, that shit would
like
be
if
good.
they fucked up New Frontier somehow.
Yeah, well, that's coming. I think.
Oh, is it really?
I think that's one of the ones in production, or at least I think that. No, I'm sorry. I know that Gunn has mentioned New Frontier. I think maybe New Frontier is what he's going to make his Justice League. I mean, which is the Justice League story.
Yeah.
It is. It's like one of the best ones.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like that and like Rock of Ages Tower of Babel that Morrison run.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
TJ.
It's a 2 for 2 flashes. This thing sucks. I fucking hate this movie, dog. It's, I found it incredibly boring. It's not fun to look at. I hate Ezra Miller, and this is probably a petty, shitty thing to say, but like, I didn't like Ezra Miller before I knew he was a piece of shit in real life, so I really don't like him now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I found him, I mean, go back and listen to the shows when we review Justice League. Like, he irritates the shit out of me. And, he's super annoying in this movie, and then they give you another one. It's like, what's the Simpsons where it's like, I get 2 free pizzas at Doughie's. It's like, you hate the pizza at Doughie's. Yeah, but there's 2.
There's 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I know I've harped on it all the whole show, but the whole, like, I don't give a shit who killed my mom really bothers me, because, like, I don't, like, how, when you're writing the script, how is that not, like, something that's brought up? Like, why didn't anybody go, wait a minute? And I know it's probably because they want to save it for the next one, but there probably isn't going to be a next one, so, like, I don't know. The cameos, insult my intelligence and everything about my person. Like, they're just so bad, and, like, I don't know how anybody was like, we're just going to stick all these, like, literally, like, no context needed cameos in for no reason. Like, it's not like they interact with the characters either. They're literally like, hey, we're going to have George Reeves, and he's just going to stand there in the Superman pose.
It's the fucking...
Like, what?
What's the hell in your religion? It's Steven Spielberg going, every time something flashes by the screen, I want to hear people go, I know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, god damn, it's fucking
Wait
terrible.
just a minute here.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, Ready Player One's better than this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And at least Ready Player One, the parts that are really horrible are kind of funny. Like, this is just bad.
The CGI is way better.
It is.
Oh, well, 1,000,000,000%, yeah.
It is, absolutely.
And it's Steven Spielberg money instead of that Andrew Muschietti money.
I mean, they
oh, good old Andrew. We start calling dogs Drew Muschietti.
They spent like $300 million on this movie, though. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Where did it go? I don't know. Ezra Miller's legal fees, I guess, but It looks really bad. It's boring. The plot sucks. There's just like nothing to this fucking movie. I will give this movie a little bit of credit. There's no forced love interest in this movie. I mean, there kind of is with Iris, but she's completely forgotten about. It's just really fucking terrible. I hated it, and I'm glad it's over, and I hope they never make another one. Sean.
It's a 1 for me. Like, that's still 100% better than the Suicide Squad, or the original, whichever one that was, and
Suicide Squad.
And fucking, Justice League. But, like, to kind of paraphrase the great John McKay, other than acting, directing, special effects, and soundtrack, and plot, it's a pretty good movie. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I mean, I get it as a product, right? It's like, let's just throw all this shit in there, but, like, there's no vision to it. It has nothing to say. Like, it's a movie essentially about, like, the loss of a parent that devolves into literally showing you 40 minutes of another movie that people already didn't like, just to button it up with, like, oh, yeah, you know, my mom's dead now, and that's sad, but, like, okay, like, it looks horrendous. They learned nothing. Like the Green Lantern movie is like one of the biggest superhero memes of all time because of the CG and all that other shit. And they did exactly the same thing, and somehow it looks just as bad as it did in 2008 or 2000, whenever the fuck that movie came out.
God, that's true. Yeah.
Like, just put the fucking suit on. But then when it's like when they use a regular suit, they do that Batman suit, like TJ said. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to be.
Yeah, what is that?
It cost $300 million and it looks cheap. Like when they're outside and Bruce Wayne's telling them about the butterfly effect or whatever, and it's like there's nobody in the street. Like, it's like, we can't spread fractures on this, man. We got to do more fucking like horrifying dead people cameos. We got to spend all our money there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, here's the thing, like, in all of the, and we've all read enough comic books in our lives, but like, you know, when they do the crossovers with different dimensional characters or whatever, even different superheroes from like different sides of the comic book world, they interact with the storyline. You know what I mean? There's nothing, like, you can write, there's a way to write this movie where, like, hey, maybe they need to, like, maybe they need to go to the George Reeve universe to get some kind of MacGuffin, or, like, you
or
know,
he just shows up or something. Yeah, it's literally just like the world outside your window. This reminds me of, like what was that, what the fuck was that DC thing where the Doomsday Clock? Where it's like, we got all this shit, let's just throw it, we can use this now, like we finally subdued Alan Moore or whatever, so let's go ahead and just make this, and like, it doesn't work, and there's no way to make it work, but we own the rights to all of this shit, so just go ahead and do it.
You ever want to get really mad, read that. It's real fucking bad.
I'm not past, dog, like, don't need to.
Yeah, I read the whole
I get it.
It's fucking bad.
But it's like, who is this for? Like, it's, you know, there's a very specific audience for this continuity, and it's like the Snyder Bros, and like, I don't think any of them are going to like this movie. It's not dark. You know what I mean? It flirts with darkness, but it doesn't ever really get there. It's like way too wacky. Like, and it just goes on forever.
You know what this movie needed? What cameo it needed? It needed the Lego Batman.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
See, there you go. Better
There's a multiverse movie that's fun. That's just a product. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. Like, at least that's entertaining.
I mean, like, I know me and Alec watched it, but like, Across the Spider-Verse does a better job at like having the characters interact with the other multiverse characters. Like, there's a point to those characters.
Yeah.
No point to any of these characters, like, at all. It's frustrating.
I mean, and that has memes, like, that has Spoder Man and shit, but like, it's quick and it's not like the whole movie.
Yeah. It's, anyway, that's, I'm comparing a good movie to a terrible movie. But anyway, that's The Flash. It's a piece of shit. What is next month's theme, Alec? I don't remember.
That doesn't sound great.
No, it's Murphy Law, Eddie Murphy movies.
Hell yeah. Eddie Murphy movies. Ooh. Do you have a pick for next week?
Or we could change and do Pee Wee Herman.
The RoboCop movies? Oh.
Because Pee Wee Herman died today.
How many movies has Pee Wee Herman been in?
Well, he's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
He's in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
He's in Cheech and Chong. No,
bunch of Pee Wee movies.
Let's not do Pee Wee movies. We'll
do all 4 RoboCop movies. That's Murphy.
So Eddie Murphy movies, I like it.
Yeah.
What do you have a pick, Alec? Or does anybody have a pick off the top of their head?
God damn, he was 70 years old.
I know, not that old.
Sean, what are you gonna pick?
Oh fuck, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to pick anything like.
I know what I'm picking.
I might pick 48 Hours.
That was a good one. No, I have a pick.
Is it like Pluto Nash or something?
No, it's The Golden Child.
Okay. I'm good with either.
I saw that fairly recently. It holds up pretty well.
I want to watch
the effects. The effects are.
I remember watching that. You know what? No. I don't want to watch that. It's too good. I want to watch Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Isn't that the one with Joe Pesci?
Possibly. I don't know.
Did you say George Lucas?
He has a cameo in it.
Oh fuck.
Oh, I clicked on IMDb, and the screenshot they have is actually the cameo of George Lucas.
Yeah,
George Lucas on the set of Eddie.
Me and Andrew drew him a Porky Pig sweatshirt on.
Yeah, Anthony and I saw that movie, Beverly Hills Cop 3, in the theater. I don't know, whenever we were in middle school probably when that came out, and we were both like nerding out because it's like, hey, it's George and Lucas.
George Lucas is in that movie. He's like, hey, there's a black guy in the movie, but what if the movie was all black guys?
All right, so what do we want? Are we watching Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Let's watch Beverly Hills Cop 3, yeah, fuck it.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, next week, Beverly Hills Cop 3. All right, everybody.
All right.
That's the show. Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Later, boys.
Bye, fellers.